Recording now. All right, go we. Welcome to your post-race press conference, round 7, Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. This was the motosport.com Washougal National. Great to be back at Washougal in Washington after missing the race last year. And a pretty wild day of racing. We have 4 riders in our post-race press conference to talk about it. We're joined by our podium finishers in the 250 class, which is Jeremy Martin, Justin Cooper, and RJ Hampshire, and our 450 overall winner for the first time this year, Honda HRC's Chase Sexton. So we'll bring Chase in first, and we'll talk about his day. Chase, you cited on the podium that starts were a big change. I want to ask you, when you are struggling with starts and you get them, how difficult is it to adjust and keep your cool when all of a sudden you have a whole shot? And you actually said you've never had one in pro motocross before. How do you adjust to a completely different type of race?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I finally got a whole shot, and I've been saying, like, if I can just get a good start, I'll be fine. And then I finally got one, and I told myself, if I lose this race, it's not going to look good on me. So, yeah, it was nice to get out front and not have to eat roost at all and go up the first hill, especially in the 450 class. The roost is pretty gnarly. So, yeah, it was awesome to finally get a whole shot, and lead every lap of that race was nice. So, and then second moto was a really good battle with Eli and Dylan. So, yeah, it was overall a good day for me. First win of the year. It's been a long time coming, been an up and down season for me. So I'm just excited to finally get a win and repay the team and myself for the hard work we've been putting in and not getting the best results. So, yeah, I'm just excited, and yeah, it's a great day for me.
Okay, thanks. Media members, you can use the raised hand function. I see where Vista Moto has his hand up, so go ask questions. We're going to just have Chase Sexton on here for the first few minutes, and then we'll go to our 250 guys. So go ahead if you have a question for Chase for Vista Moto.
Thank you. Hey, Chase, can you talk a little bit about the pressure and the expectations that you have as the future of the team HRC, and how that affects or doesn't affect your racing on Saturdays? Is it more? Does it sometimes become more of a mental factor than your physical or your racecraft abilities? Does the mental sometimes get in the way of your riding?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I put a lot of pressure on myself to do good, and I hold myself to a very high standard. So I always tell people that no one can put in any more or have any higher expectations than I have for myself. So it doesn't really bother me. Obviously, I'm racing for a corporation, and it's not like the Geico days. So yeah, there is there is that. But for me, yeah, I try and do the best I possibly can, and I'm happy when I ride to my ability. And obviously, I'm not when I go out there and flounder. So. But yeah, it was just nice to repay the team for a lot of their hard work. We finally figured out something with the bike last week in Millville, and then it was nice to translate it into today and finally get a win and a podium. So yeah, it's exciting, but no, I wouldn't say there's any added pressure for me.
All right, thank you.
Nick from Moto Limited, go ahead.
Thanks, Jason. Nick, still Moto Limited. Hey, let's go Chase Sexton again. Chase, there's a bit of chatter around this weekend about the MXDN team. Is it something you've been asked about? Is it something you'd be open to going for Team America if you got the chance?
100%, I would love to go. I was a little bit nervous there for because I knew I was on the list to get picked to go, but there was a few rounds there where I was riding around in 8th, and it wasn't looking good for me to get picked. So I hope this weekend kind of I get it put to the top of the list, and I would love to go, like I said, and it'd be an honor to represent my country. And I really want to go race the MXGP guys. That'd be fun as well. So, but yeah, to answer your question, I'm 100% in it if I get picked.
Absolutely. Good start this weekend, getting on that list high, mate. Cheers.
Thank you.
Dark Side, you're up next if you have a question for Chase.
Yeah, Dark Side, Moto X Pod Show. Chase, you mentioned some changes last week that you found, and it's a new bike for 2021 and first time outdoors on it. What did you find? Give us some specifics. What have you been working on? What have you been needing?
for me, I'm really sensitive to like the balance of the bike. If the rear is high, I tend to ride really tight, and I don't necessarily ever feel comfortable, even if the bike is working decent. So we actually ended up cutting the subframe last weekend, 5 mil after the first practice. I came back and just wasn't comfortable at all. So cut the subframe, and then that's pretty much it. I think we went a little bit stiffer, and just to compensate for making lowering the rear. So the subframe is a pretty big change, but to be honest, we didn't really change much with the actual suspension, just more balance. And then for the starts this weekend, we did a map change where I can't go over, I think 9,000 RPMs, because I tend to get a little too high on the starting line. I can't really hear my bike that well. So it hits a little rev limiter, and then I know to back it down. So that's, I think, helped a lot today on the starts. But yeah, for bike changes, that's pretty much it for me.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
We'll go to Trent from Moto Limited next.
Yeah, thanks, Weege. Trent, Moto Limited Show. Chase, that second moto, you had that awesome battle with Eli and also with Dylan. You're right in the middle there. Once Eli got past you, like those guys were on one at that last stage of that. When you went over the finish line, you see your head went down. Was that just disappointment you weren't, up there or didn't keep with them? Or was that just, that you'd won and that you finally got that monkey off your back?
I actually didn't know. I knew I was kind of doing math in my head. I knew if Eli didn't get to Dylan that I thought I won. But honestly, I wasn't 100% sure if I won when I crossed the finish line. So it was I was pretty tired. I put a pretty big effort to get to the back of Dylan, and then I just couldn't get around him. So I kind of just lost my speed, and obviously Eli was on a mission. I think he ran the fastest lap of the race by, I think, over a second or close to a second, like 2 laps to go. So he was definitely riding well, and I didn't have anything to keep him behind me. So once he passed me, it kind of took the wind out of my sails, and I kind of just cruised. I had a little bit of arm pump actually, which is weird because I don't usually get arm pump with how choppy the track was. I think that's kind of why I got it. But yeah, I mean, those guys were riding really good. I dropped off pretty big. Eli was going really fast, but I think Dylan just kind of maintained, and I dropped off pretty heavy. But yeah, I didn't really know I won the race until I got to the podium.
Yeah, man, congratulations on the first win of the year.
Thank you.
Alex Gilbert.
Thanks, Weege. Yeah, Alex Gilbert, motoonline.com. Just final one for Chase is now that you've got this mid-season momentum and obviously this victory on your side, is there any specific target that you're carrying into these the final 5 rounds of the outdoors?
Not really specific. I would really like to win more races, and as a racer, I mean, obviously I'm out of the championship at this point. So for me, I just want to go out there and win as much as I possibly can. And I train every day to do that. So every time I line up, I want to win. And that's kind of the mindset. So if I can just keep my starts like they were today and put myself in good positions, I think we'll be on the right track. But yeah, just for me is winning as much as possible is kind of the goal, but no really specific goal, I should say. Just win and try and ride the best I can and put myself in good positions.
Right on. Thank you. Well done.
Revista Moto, get your hand raised. We'll get one more question in here for Chase. Thanks.
Hey, thank you, Weege. Hey, Chase, you have a 2-week break just as you're peaking. How do you keep your momentum and your rhythm ready for Unadilla with the 2-week break? Do you work on, is it more just keeping yourself loose and confident, or are there specific things that you're looking and the team is looking to work on and settings to modify?
So, I mean, it's kind of, I wouldn't say the break came at the wrong time. I think, 4 races in a row is not a lot, but it gets a little bit grueling. So I think everyone's kind of ready for a little bit of a break. And for me, I'm just now starting to get where I feel like I'm back to where I belong. But I don't think the break's going to change anything. I think I just go back, and I'm going to California this week to do a little bit of testing and fine tune some stuff that struggling a little bit with. So yeah, go test. And this week I probably won't do any motos. I'll probably just work on the bike and get that thing figured out, and then I'll head back to Florida and just keep doing keep doing my motos and try and get better and keep just getting that intensity in practice. I was struggling a little bit mid part or the beginning of this year with intensity late in the moto, so I've really been trying to focus on that in practice as much as I can, because it's hard to replicate that intensity. So just keep trying to do that and keep chasing the clock during practice, and come into Unadilla ready to go. I like the rest of the tracks. Unadilla is a really good track for me with the ruts, and then Budds Creek and Ironman is a really good track, and then we head back to California. So I'm excited. These last 5 rounds are going to be fun. So yeah, looking forward to having this little break, but also getting back to racing.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. Thanks, Chase Sexton. I think Justin Cooper's in the airport, so I'll do my best to get to him as quick as possible. Thank you, Chase. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Yep, for the Honda
I'm good, right?
team.
I'm good, right?
Yep, you're good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's our 450 portion of the press conference. I'll go to Justin Cooper, and we'll move to our 250 class. We also have Jeremy Martin and RJ Hampshire with us. I'll fire off one question for Justin. You've been saying over and over, you don't want to just be the consistent podium guy. You want to get moto wins. Even maybe a 1-1 would be great. How much of that final crash there in Moto 2 was just a racing thing that happened, or how much was you were pushing hard to try to get the 1-1?
Yeah, for sure. I was definitely trying to get the 1-1, and Jeremy had a little bit more pace than me and was kind of just trying to hold him off, and he was able to get under me pretty like halfway through that second moto, and was just putting a charge back in to just try and make it interesting for the end. And I was catching him a little bit here and there, and I felt like I got pretty close with like 3 laps to go, and yeah, I was just trying to make a little bit of a charge. And yeah, I crashed going up the uphills. I hit some pothole in the rollers, and I never saw it really coming. So it's a bummer. I mean, I would have never saw that coming. So it's a weird way to crash, but it was definitely trying to get back up. The bike was destroyed, and my bike was facing up the hill, and all sorts of bad stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. Good first moto, and just good day overall. I had a really good day, I feel, and my riding was awesome. So a lot of positives to take from it, but obviously a little bit salty that and disappointed that happened late in the moto.
All right, thanks. I'll go to the media here. Steve Mathis, you have a question for one of our 250 riders.
Question for Justin Cooper first. Hey, Jay Coop, that first moto, although like you said, second moto kind of sucked with that crash. The first moto, do you feel like that might be your best outdoor moto you've ever ridden? Is it on that kind of level?
The first moto, yeah, definitely. I had a lot of company, obviously. I had J Mart and RJ behind me, and they were really bringing the heat. So, yeah, it was tough. I had to, regroup, and those guys definitely didn't leave me alone. So I had to step it up towards the end, and I think I ran my fastest time with like a lap to go. So it was an all-out sprint the whole moto, and it was good. Definitely one of my better motos, and it was good to hold off those charges that were constantly getting thrown at me.
Dark Side, we'll go to you next for our 250 riders. Dark Side.
I got a question for Jeremy, but first I got to compliment Mathis's background. Good job, man. Finally figured it out. But J Mart, man, is it in your head at all that things go a certain way, that there's championship hopes? Do you even think about that? I mean, I know it's a stretch, but is it something you consider when you line up?
No, I honestly don't consider it at all. I just want to. I'm 60 some points down, guys. That's pretty big, And I know Trey did the run on Purcell. I don't know, Jesus, what year was that Trey did that?
11 years ago.
11 years ago. But yeah, I mean, that was a crazy deal or whatever. But I when I line up, I just think about wanting to win on my dirt bike and have fun and live in the moment of, when you're on the line and you got the butterflies in your stomach and all that stuff, and you're like, man, can I get this done? So yeah, that's mainly just what I'm thinking about.
All right, thanks.
We'll go to Nick next.
Nick Still, Moto Limited Show. Let's keep it with Jeremy Martin. Jeremy, how is the injury going at the moment? You indicated a couple of weeks ago you didn't really like doing the big jumps to singles, but today landing in the sand pretty much to flat, that's got to hurt the hand, surely.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I rode Tuesday last week. I finally did a full program for the first time, and I did my warm up, and then I got like 25 minutes into the first moto, and I was like, man, the scaphoid's definitely bothering me, and the hand was bothering me. So I guess that kind of like, you know, the adrenaline of race day, and then also too, like I just, you know, I try not to take any Aleve or Advil or whatever, but during the week to kind of just make it more potent on race day to kind of help me get through. And I guess that's just kind of like something I've been dealing with a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great ride, mate.
Thank you.
Revista Moto, we'll go to you.
Hey, thanks, Luke. Hey, RJ Hampshire. Hey, quick question for you. Can you talk a little bit about your racecraft and the philosophy of your racing? It seems like despite your injuries in the past or crashes in the past, you have no problem twisting that throttle at any point in that race. It seems like you are constantly twisting that throttle as fast and as hard as you can. Is that just what it looks like on TV, or is that really just you have one speed and one speed only?
I mean, yeah, I'm out there to win. I'm going to go as fast as I can all the time. And it honestly was, I had a strength problem with my right hand there for a bit from Red Bud. So, yeah, but like I said, I felt good today. And honestly, I had a little bit better strength. So I think as this break comes, we'll be able to recover it quite a bit, and we'll be better at Unadilla.
Great, thank you.
Kellen Brower, you're next up.
Yeah, thanks. Kellen Brower here from RacerX. Jeremy, I wanted to ask you, I think after last week, maybe even the Pulp Show when you went on, you said that you're like expected to win at Millville. So it's kind of like one of those things where you're not taking too much credit for the win almost, where this week now getting the win on like a completely different technical type of track, does it kind of change how you envision the rest of your season going, or how you kind of approach each round from here on out?
Man, that's a good question. I wouldn't really say it changes the vision of the rest of the season, but for me, there was obviously a lot of pressure with like the hometown race. I literally grew up there riding. You know, I learned how to ride there. I trained there. So there's a lot of pressure to win, obviously. Surprisingly, in my entire professional career, I've never gone 1-1 there. So I kind of had a reality check with myself, like, what are you doing? And then to finally do it, it's pretty dang neat. But yeah, like Washougal, man, I've hit the deck at that place a lot of times since I turned pro in 2013. And to finally be able to win, I know I got gifted the overall. Obviously, Jay Coop went down in a crazy fast section. I mean, he's probably going 30, 40 miles an hour up Horsepower Hill there. But yeah, to do it, it's pretty sweet. As you guys could see, I was pretty cranked up on the podium.
Cool, thank you.
We'll go to Alex Gilbert next.
Thanks, Weed. Yeah, Alex Gilbert, MotoOnline.com. For Justin Cooper, tell us, were you going for that win in Moto 2, and was there an importance for you to try and, get J-Mart towards the end, or is there any regrets about pushing that hard, considering your position? Tell us about that.
Yeah, we had a good battle going. Definitely wasn't trying to give it up easy. So I stuck in there. I was kind of learning from his lines, and I know he had a little bit more pace than me in the beginning of the moto. And before the finish, it was he drifted out, and I had to yield. That's just how it goes in that section. So I stuck in behind him, and I did my best to try and follow him, keep pace with him. And towards the end there, I felt like I caught him a little bit, but it would have been really hard to make a pass for sure. But I was definitely trying my butt off to at least make it interesting. So yeah, I mean that's all there is to say. Then I was on the ground, so lucky to even really get up. My bike was pretty bad after that, and it's unfortunate, but it's part of racing. So good day overall for me. I felt really good in both motos.
Yeah, good to see you get up. Thanks for that. Well done.
Steve Mathis, you have another question for our 250 riders?
Yes, Jeremy Martin. You're the first two-time winner this year. You've got the most moto wins in the class. As you said, it's a pretty long shot to win the title, but Jeff Emig did it from 60 points down, I think, back in the day. So it is possible. But if you don't win the title but have the most wins and moto wins, does that mean anything to you? Or is it just like, hey, like whatever, I need to win the championship? Is that a goal? Is that something that is important?
You know, obviously winning championships is something that, you know, as when we sign with a manufacturer, that's the goal, right? And you know, I've been fortunate enough to win 2 of them in my career so far. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to win it. But I've been through the ringer obviously this year. So, and then the last couple of years with just injury and stuff. So for me, yeah, if I could win it, great. But I'm out here fighting. You know, I got hurt, and then I was able to kind of turn the ship around pretty quick and get back up to that level of speed. And you know, sometimes it's not always, it doesn't line up, man. And you know, if I can get some more overalls and some more wins, I mean, to me, that's a heck of a deal just for myself, you know, to face it, the adversity and everything, and just kind of, I guess, just keep plugging away. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Hey, RJ Hampshire, if you're there, I got a question for you. We're starting to hear your name in some of the Motocross the Nations discussion. Have you heard that? Have you been approached? Have you thought about it? Any thoughts on that?
No, I haven't heard anything yet. I mean, I'd love to. That would be, I mean, it's what you kind of dream of, but we were actually just talking about today, and I wish I could earn it. So yeah, just moving forward, I need to be kind of on the box. I try to be every weekend, and man, just be smarter about it. Like today, I felt like I took what the track kind of gave me, and you know where I was at. I mean, I felt like I had the speed to battle for the win. But then, yeah, once I stalled it there, that second moto, it really deflated me. But yeah, that's something I'm kind of working on, and we actually settled down a bit. And like I said, just kind of took what it gave me, and then of course with Justin crashing there 2 to go, that helped me out. So yeah, I mean, just keep plugging away. We have these 2 weekends off, and hopefully, you know, Dilla, we can come back and be back on the box.
All right, thanks, RJ. I'll go to Trent next.
Yeah, thanks, Weege. Trent Moto Limited Show. Stay with RJ. You sort of touched on it there, but you know, both motos you're up front today. You're in the battle a lot, but it looked like you made the conscious decision just to back it off that 1% that everyone's been talking about. That if you could do that, could you still run there? Was that a conscious decision by you today to just bring it back a touch?
No, and honestly, it's kind of like I'm getting so much heat about crashing and stuff, but I mean, realistically, I had a crash in practice at Redbud, and I hurt my thumb, and I didn't want to say anything after Redbud because I went out and won. So if I were to say, yeah, I hurt my thumb in practice, it's kind of like, yeah, this guy's pretty much talking BS. So I've just been struggling with strength, honestly, and that's a lot to do with those front end crashes, or the front wheel washing out. If you look at all of my crashes the last 3 weekends, that's literally all they've been. So there is a reason behind it. Today was a lot better, the slipperiest track. Steve just said it too, and we didn't wash our front once. And I felt like if I might have tried to make another push there, that second moto, it might have went into something that we're trying to stay away from. Because like same thing J Mart said, late in these motos, like my strength gets weaker and weaker. So it's just kind of managing that. And yeah, we did that today.
Yeah, man. Awesome job. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll try to do this as quick as we can. Revista Moto, I got you up next.
All right, thank you. Hey, RJ, back to you. Hey, the next 2 weeks, are they all about rest for you, or testing and tweaking some of your settings?
Yeah, no, there's not much rest. I think we get next 3 weeks or 3 days off next week. But other than that, it's right to it. I'm actually going to, I get to ride a 450 here for a bit. So stoked on that, which brings a little bit more excitement. and because I've never been on a Husky 450 yet, so I'm pretty excited to ride that for a couple weeks, and then just mainly get ready for Unadilla.
Thank you.
We'll go to Kellen Brower next.
Yeah, thanks, Kellen Brower here from Racer X. Justin, at Millville, it seemed like you're pretty disappointed with your riding, and today it seemed like even though the result didn't reflect it, you're pretty happy with your riding. So is that the case? Like, did you actually feel like you rode to what you expect today? And if so, what was different today that you felt like kind of clicked for you?
Yeah, for sure. It was a lot better today compared to Millville, and I just really didn't feel like myself. I felt like I was fighting the bike a lot. And today I just felt like I had a really good flow and, I could turn it up when I needed to. So it is a very similar, everyone's pretty similar in speed here at this track, and it's pretty fast. So it's definitely starts were important today, and we got those. And I feel like I managed the races pretty good. And I just felt like I had more of a flow, and basically was just really fighting the bike there at Millville, and really can't do much with that. You got to be one with your bike to be on the top step, and I feel like we had that today. So it was definitely a good day for us.
Cool, thanks.
All right, we're going to wrap it there. We're at half hour, and I know you guys are in the airport, Jay Coop and RJ. So thanks for giving us extra time. Thanks for the questions, everybody. We'll see everyone mid-August, 2 weekends off before Unadilla. I'm Jason Wygant from NBC Sports. We'll see you there. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.